Hi, this is a Curvy 3D character modelling tutorial in the Gigantic series, where we're sculpting this giant for an illustration. In this video, the last of the sculpting series, we'll be posing the model and setting it up in the scene. So the main pose I want to do is a twist to his torso. So I'm using the gradient mask and dragging from bottom to top to put a gradient, so the yellow bits will move and the blue bits will stay still when we transform the model. And then to change the shape, I'm using the mask bell. This will mean that the top and bottom will move less and the middle will be more twisted. Then with the rotate tool, just giving it a rotate gives the effect of twisting the model at the waist. Of course, you want the shoulders and head to rotate too, so I'm just going to pull those round now. Again, using the rotate tool to rotate those parts together. Oh, I just missed one of the arms. Try again, there we go. Rotating the arms to meet the chest. We can weld these parts on later. Rotate the head into place. So I'm going to weld the shoulders onto the chest using mesh weld. And also I'm going to do a voxel merge on the hands, the more detailed hand model we made earlier. I won't show that now, it just repeats the strategies from before. Do a voxel merge and then a sculpt. To set up the rest of the scene, I'm just going to draw some more placeholders. I'm going to replace the trees later on with models from Tree-It, an easy tree generator for 3D. And I'm also going to pull in two little characters, which I'm going to sculpt into separately. So here we see the placeholder trees, the little characters. We just need to view it from the camera viewpoint, and you can see the completed illustration, at least the models for it. Just hiding the trees so you can see the details. The bracer and the sword model will be moving on to in the next tutorial, where we can see that bit of more solid modelling. But this rounds up the character part of the modelling session. You can see the details I've sculpted into the hand. You can see I've welded the hand onto the arm, the shoulder onto the chest using mesh weld, and then sculpted in the muscles on the transitions. You can't see the seam anymore. And then building up the different parts, the trees and the other characters who will appear later. Now I started this process with some thumbnails. Here's the sketch I was working to. So it hasn't changed too much, I don't think. There wasn't much detail in the design, but I had plenty of reference material to back up what I was trying to achieve with each part. And we got the basic shapes still there. To recap, we've drawn a base mesh in Curvy 3D using sketched curves, as we see on the model on the left. We tweaked those curves from a basic man proportions into more gigantic proportions with a smaller head and thicker limbs. And then we posed, merged and sculpted. For the final render, I took all of this into Blender, and again I'll be explaining in more detail how I did that later on in this series. The main things I added in Blender was textures and lighting. Notice I've also sculpted the other two characters here. I then took everything into GIMP to add the sky, a little bit of colour grading. So come back next time where we'll be sculpting the sword and the bracer.